Texas A&M, and Michaela Rose, both the meet record holder and the collegiate leader. And also in this heat, she was a great runner in high school and has only gotten better since then. And when it came to what events she should run, father knew best.
He just knew that I was an 800 runner. I started running cross country first because that was like the first season of the year. And then like when I started track, I did the longer events, like the 800 and the 15. Yeah, the 800's just always been my favorite event. And I think maybe like my sophomore year in high school, I did the 4 hurdles, but it was still the 800 was my main thing.
The defending NCAA outdoor 800-meter champion, and she opened this 2024 outdoor season with a collegiate record in the 600. Less than a month later, ran that second fastest 800 in collegiate history. She has a couple of teammates in this as well. LSU among those who are contending for a team title on the women's side, so she'll have her teammate Montana Monk in this heat as well. Sorry, one other teammate. There are 3 LSU Tigers in the 800 entirely. You will see Lorena Rangel-Batrez a little bit later, but distance coach Houston Franks told me he almost thought about entering Michaela in the 8:15 double until she ran so well on their 4x4, clocking a 51:29 split, that he thought, okay, let's just stick with the 8 and have you there running a leg of the 4x400. Also to mention, Dwight, she is certainly among the conversation in what is going to be an incredible field of American middle distance runners in this event who are contending at the Olympic trials.
So the qualifying criteria different here for the women, as there are only 3 heats. The top 2 finishers in each of these 3 heats will automatically advance, and then the next 3 fastest non-automatic qualifying times over the 3 heats. So a premium on first and second here, not quite as daunting as the men, but still with Michaela Rose in your heat, you got to know that you're up against an awful lot of competition. She has run so well during the indoor season, carried it into the outdoor season, a leading contender to be on our Olympic team later this summer.
Always likes to get out there and go up to the front. That is what we see from her time and time again when she steps onto the track, so pushing the rest of the field to run her race. And she likes to typically get out pretty aggressively in that opening 400.
Already a gap that's developed for about 7 meters between her and second place. She goes through around 59 flat, which is very comfortable for her. And she's still well out in front of the chase pack. 59.1 now officially for that first 400. Now she's working this second or third 200, I should say, and look at the gap that developed in just about 150 meters.
And part of this comes from that aerobic engine that they built her freshman year. She really invested in running cross country, building the strength that she needed, and that's what's paying off for her so far this year. And look at the impressive display that she has with 200 meters to go.
Last year she set the record in the heats, breaking 2 minutes, running 1:59.73.
That was on her home track as well. We were in Baton Rouge for that meet. Takes a quick glance back to see just how comfortable that lead has grown to. And then look at the fight behind her. That is Kelsey Schweitzer of Missouri, who was 5th indoors.
Schweitzer and Haywood of Tennessee going for that second qualifying spot. It's going to be Haywood getting it. 2:04.52 for Michaela Rose. She really shut it down that last 200. Haywood did get the second spot, and then Kelsey Schweitzer finishing 3rd.
Got to note that great close from Kamaya Haywood. She's a Jacksonville native, a product of Bishop Kenny High School, so has a ton of friends and family who are here to watch her compete at the SEC Championships. Here is where Michaela Rose kind of cruises in because of that massive lead that she was able to build. Takes that glance over her shoulder coming into the home stretch, but watch the fight behind her. That is Haywood and Schweitzer there to the finish. As Rose is coasting through, that is going to pay off for her into the final. Haywood digging really deep. She is an emerging middle distance star for the Tennessee Volunteers. She's going to be one to watch in an exciting 800-meter race on Saturday.
There are the official results. Rose winning it, Haywood getting the second automatic qualifier. That is indeed Kelsey Schweitzer. She is Carissa Schweitzer's younger sister. And the winner, Michaela Rose, is downstairs with Fernando.
Michaela, well, you had more of a bigger challenge from the win than the competition today.
Nah, it's survive and advance, so my main thing was just get out and stay out of trouble.
Where does this stand according to your plans?
Perfectly, just try to get through the rounds as easily as possible without getting into trouble, getting into traffic, or getting tripped up, so yeah.
So what's next? What do you do? Where are you going from here?
Go back to the hotel, get some rest, recover, cheer on my teammates, and prepare for finals.
Any TV?
Any TV?
Are you watching any TV?
I'm watching This Is Us, if that counts.
There you go. This is you now.
This is me.
Back to you, Dwight.
All right, Fernando. She is safely through. As we get ready for the heat number 2, the early bubble is 2:07 flat. I'm not sure that will change after this heat. There is from South Carolina, the sophomore Sylvia Shalangat, 2023 SEC Outdoor 800-meter runner-up. She's looking to step up because she lost to Michaela Rose also last year.
And South Carolina distance coach Brock Moreau is really excited about her and what she can do on this stage. Sydney Steely of Kentucky. Keep in mind that not only last year at this championship meet did she score in the 800, she also scored in the steeplechase. So she is an incredibly strong athlete for the Wildcats, has immense ability at both those disciplines, and just kind of one of those willing to do it all for the sake of the team.
Steely in 6, Chalangat in 7. Top 2 advancing to Saturday's final.
Interesting team implications here. 2 Missouri Tigers, 2 Kentucky Wildcats, 2 Razorbacks in this field, both of those on the outside of the track as well. And in focusing a bit on Sylvia Chalangat, this past fall was her first season of cross country, and that is something that Coach Moreau really credits to her development. That's something that has paid off for her this outdoor season. She had a bit of an injury. She was looking super strong going into December, battled through some things during the indoor season, and then she has just been on this crescendo over the course of the outdoor season, finally getting into really good racing opportunities, which have built her confidence coming into Gainesville.
Well, Michaela Rose in the interview stated it so well, and all these athletes know this. It's beaten into their heads by their coaches. It's survive and advance.
Yeah, that's why those rankings, performance lists, you toss all of that out the window, right? It's all about racing when you get to a championship meet.
It's all about getting to the final, because in the final, anything can happen. People get into a crowd, they get tripped. Weather conditions change. If you aren't in the final, you can't race the final. And a lot of pushing and shoving going on, which is very dangerous, so that's the way you go down.
And indicates that this might be a bit of a slower pace than what we just saw in the opening heat of these rounds of qualifying, and you're seeing everybody is into the thick of it. You'd like for Chalangat to push this pace just a little bit, because she can go through in 58 seconds and still feel really relaxed and maintain composure through 600 meters should she need to.
Sydney Steely is in the lead. She goes through in about 63, much slower than did Michaela Rose, but you really can't gauge anything from that. 63.2 for Steely, with Chalangat right there behind her. Remember, it's the top 2 automatically advancing on the women's side, as there are only 3 heats. The early bubble, 2:07.
And this is affording Sylvia the opportunity to just run really relaxed, having almost a rabbit out there in front of her, and just maintain contact on the shoulder of Sydney Steely. Steely, though, has that great strength that she can draw upon. For Sylvia Chalangat, Coach Moreau wants her to get through 600 meters clean, and then she's gonna have more in the tank. There is that tank right there. She's able to dip into that speed.
Chalangat now stretching out her stride. She followed Steely for the first 700 meters and then took over. Steely comfortably in second place, will automatically advance. And Chalangat finishing easily, unofficially 2:05.18 with Sydney Steely second. It's been corrected to 2:04.81. We need to watch that, because that's a pretty large discrepancy between the unofficial and the official. But Chalangat, your winner. Steely second, safely through to Saturday's final.
Here is a bit of that trouble. You know, you heard Michaela Rose said, get through, stay out of trouble. Well, here's the trouble that you're trying to avoid as you see Arkansas, Kentucky, South Carolina, Missouri, almost everybody a bit entangled there on the turn. That's because everyone tries to collapse to try to get on the rail at this point and avoid running as much extra distance as possible. Chelling got navigated that, as did Seeley, very, very well to get on through. Look at that. Arms extended. You think she's confident going into the final with a run like that in the prelim? Certainly she should be. Great motion there on the upper body to drive those legs. Sydney Steele does a great job too of hanging right there with her, being in good position.
There are the final results. No Arkansas, no Missouri advancing, as they are already over the bubble time, which was 2:07 flat. Arkansas counting on those qualifiers getting through and scoring points in the final. So third and final heat in the women's 800-meter preliminaries. And this heat featuring Lorena Rangel-Batres of LSU, the senior, as well as from Mexico. She's run 2:03 flat, finished runner-up in the mile at the SEC Indoor.
And we have seen her do the double 1500-8 a number of times at the SEC Championships. Coach Houston Franks said she and Michaela are just two of the best teammates, most coachable, best students, very mature. They're both laid back, they have fun, and certainly lead by example. Hey, Dwayne, you mentioned Arkansas and the points standings. This is someone they're banking on, Sanu Jallow, incredibly impressive athlete, ran 2:01.77 indoors on their home track in Fayetteville. Coach Chris Johnson said she has big time ability. When she ran that 2:01, it was no surprise based on her training, and she's really proven to be formidable when she runs her own race.
Transfer from Texas A&M, which I've already referred to as 800U.
On your marks.
So Jallow in 6, Rangel-Batres in 7. No movement on the bubble, still 2:07 flat, according to our crack statistician Tom Lewis. Jallow going out, certainly aware of the troubles Arkansas having so far, getting none of their 800-meter runners through. Jallow, Rangel-Batres 1 and 2 early on, with Kylie Gale of Georgia, the junior there, transfer from South Carolina with a 9 on her singlet. And from Ole Miss, that is Jo Lauren Keene right in there in the thick of things.
Batres not only has run 2:03 flat, but she's also reached 5 conference finals in the course of her LSU career. That's really impressive. Jessica Edwards of Florida right there in the thick of it as well as they go to the bell.
Looks like right around 61 seconds, 62 now. It says 62 flat, everybody right there. Jallow controlling the pace so far. Rangel-Batres right there behind her, as she has been. And that is Jo Lauren Keene in third.
Jallow and Batres have done a great job of kind of evading any of that traffic, separating themselves. And Batres goes on the rail, moving on the inside to get around Jallow. Jallow left her way too much room there to sneak through as they go to the final 200 meters. Jallow with the response. She is hanging in right there on the hip of Batres.
I noticed that she was given the rail right before the bell, and I thought, I wonder if anybody will try to go through there. Batres did so. They're easily 1-2 though. Batres and Jallow will qualify through to Saturday's final. And Batres will take the victory. Right around 2:05 flat unofficially, with Jallow second. So Arkansas does get a finalist in the women's 800, but only one. So I know there's some wind there on the backstretch at their backs because it was blowing pretty good when I came to the track today. So that presents some issues. You can see the flag blowing in that direction. 2:04.97 now officially, just under 2:05 flat for Batres of LSU.
And what she has to be happy about is not just the time, not just winning the heat, but how well she executed this race, how efficiently and how tactically sound this race was from her. She is a veteran at SEC championships, one who just knows, has a knack for making those finals. And this was just a really balanced effort from her. Jallow got out there fast, kind of let her foot off the gas a little bit, but then responded really, really well. Both these athletes incredibly composed. When you have someone like Senu Jallow, who's run 2:01, 2:05 is going to feel super comfortable. So she has plenty in her legs going into the finals, and you would expect Petrez to do that double as well. Be out tomorrow on the track to try to qualify in the 1500.
So there are your advancers, and it did take 2:06.